Hello everyone, my name is Aaliyah Mann and today I'll be presenting my research on the connection between nutrient levels in ponds and the presence of duckweed, watermeal, and filamentous algae. This study was conducted in collaboration with the Cincinnati Nature Center. So let's dive into the background of our study. The Cincinnati Nature Center, or CNC, is home to several ponds exhibiting an abundance of duckweed, watermeal, and algae. The research question driving this investigation is, what is the cause of excessive growth in these ponds? To address this question, we conducted a thorough literature review focusing on the correlation between nutrient levels and the proliferation of aquatic plants and algae. CNC's Rowwoods property boasts 7 ponds, 5 of which were surveyed for this study. 3 ponds featured duckweed species Limna minor and Spirodella polyrhiza, along with watermeal, Wolfia columbiana. These 3 species are pictured in image number 2 on the right. 1 pond did harbor filamentous algae, Pithophora species, while the 5th pond had none of these species present. Excessive growth of duckweed, watermeal, and algae can detrimentally impact ecosystem health, prompting the CNC team to seek further investigation for informing future management strategies. Moving on to our research question, what could be causing the overgrowth observed in these ponds? We considered various factors such as excess sun exposure, low dissolved oxygen content, pH levels, conductivity, nutrient levels, and the decomposition of leaf litter, or maybe even it's all of the above. After doing a literature review, we found that ponds are among the most biodiverse and ecologically important freshwater habitats, yet they have historically been understudied compared to larger bodies of water. Previous research has highlighted a correlation between high nutrient levels and excessive duckweed growth. However, further research is warranted, particularly in comparing ponds with duckweed and watermeal to those with algae. Our hypotheses were formulated as follows. The null hypothesis suggests no significant difference in nutrient levels among the 3 groups, while the alternative hypothesis posits significant differences. Specifically, we predicted higher nitrate and ammonium levels in ponds with algae and higher phosphate levels in ponds with duckweed and watermeal. Now let's take a visual tour of the 5 ponds we sampled. Number 1 was the reservoir pond. This pond had excessive duckweed and watermeal, almost 100% coverage. Pond number 2 was Lotus Pond, and this one also had excessive duckweed and watermeal presence, but it was more about like 85 to 90% coverage. Number 3 was the one with the filamentous algae presence, which was about 65 to 70% coverage. Number 4 was Marsh Pond, which was duckweed and watermeal presence, and it was about 80% coverage. And lastly, number 5 was Ben's Pond, and it had none of the species listed, duckweed, watermeal, or algae. So to conduct the study, we collected 4 water samples per week from each pond over a span of 4 weeks total. These samples were then subjected to laboratory analysis to test for phosphates, nitrates, and ammonium levels. Statistical analysis was performed using single-factor ANOVA and Turkey-Kramer post-hoc tests. Here's a comprehensive chart displaying the data collected from all 5 ponds over the 4-week sampling period. Each pond was sampled at the 4 cardinal points, north, south, east, and west. So our results did reveal significant findings with p-values with statistical significances. The group with algae presence exhibited statistically higher nitrate levels, while the group with duckweed showed significantly higher phosphate and ammonium levels. Thus, in conclusion, we reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternative. There is indeed a relationship between algae presence and elevated nitrate levels, as well as between duckweed presence and increased phosphate and ammonium levels. However, it is important to acknowledge the limitations and challenges of the study, such as the small sample size and the multitude of factors influencing aquatic plant and algae growth. Looking ahead, future studies could explore the influence of riparian zones on nutrient input into ponds and the efficacy of underwater air diffusers in inhibiting growth, and the impact of fish and submerged aquatic plants on coverage. Here's my reference page. I thank you for taking the time out of your day to explore the intricate relationships between nutrient levels and aquatic plant and algae growth in ponds. Again, thank you for watching, and your questions and feedback are welcomed and appreciated.